Good morning. Saturday, October 8th, about 10:30 in the morning. It is chilly here in central Indiana. Everybody down in Bloomington, Indiana, waiting, tailgating, getting ready for the Michigan IU game. They're all bundled up. Got a lot of sweatshirts, a lot of blankets. It's going to be a chilly, chilly day throughout the Midwest. A big fun day. There's a lot of fun stuff going on. I'm waiting for the weather to pull up to see exactly how warm it is outside. I don't know why it's taking forever. But anyway, we've got a busy football day today in the college ranks. Game day is at Kansas. A big game with TCU in Kansas. The crowd was insane. This is the first time that Game Day's ever been there. So it is a very, very hectic scene on ESPN. We're going to talk a little bit here, and then we'll go run out and catch the last hour of the show. A few injuries to talk about. The Tennessee Volunteers travel to LSU tonight. They are going to be without their stud receiver, Cedric Tillman. Tillman is still recovering from a high ankle sprain. He had tightrope surgery on September 20th. But is not back to full strength. So he's been ramping up his activity, but he will be sitting out today. Right now, 47 degrees. It's going to be up to 58, so it's going to be a beautiful day down in Bloomington for your college experience down in Bloomington if you are a fan of the Indiana Hoosiers or Michigan Wolverines. Fun fact, I graduated from IU, so did my wife. My wife loves Michigan. So this is a game that we've been to before down in Bloomington. It's always fun to get down there and catch a Big Ten game. But let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the world of college football. TCU at Kansas. Big game to start off the slate. Noon on FS1. 17th ranked TCU, 19th ranked Kansas. It is going to be a very, very good game. Obviously, game day is there. TCU is actually an 8-point favorite, which is kind of crazy. Sorry, I'm pulling something up here. I should have been more prepared, but we're just pulling stuff up as we're talking to you guys. TCU, 8-point favorite, 68.5 is the spread today. So that's a big spread. Okay, here. Okay. Sorry, just pulling this up here real quick. Look and see. Yeah, okay. I was looking for something for TCU here, but anyway. We're going to take a pick, look and see some of the big games today. Let's just start right here with Tennessee at LSU. Noon kickoff on ESPN. Tennessee is a 3-point favorite. Auburn had 438 yards last week against LSU's defense. Auburn has not looked good on the offensive side, so that is major question mark for Kelly and his defense down there. LSU did win at Auburn. They had a +3 turnover margin. Tennessee's got a high-powered attack that is always moving. Tennessee has a much better Tennessee has a much better offense than Auburn, and LSU could not stop Auburn to save their life. They just created a lot of turnovers. We're very opportunistic. I think Tennessee goes into LSU, gets the job done. I think that they win by more than 3. I think it's something where they literally go in and just outscore them. The over-under is 64. I think we go over that. I think we go over that quick. So I think Tennessee, with their passing attack, they're going to keep that up-tempo going. They're going to get the job done. TCU at Kansas. This is a noon kickoff in Lawrence, Kansas. FS1, as we talked about, TCU is an 8-point favorite. I think that TCU goes in and gets the job done. Kansas has been a fantastic story this week. They have not just this week, but this entire year. They're turning the basketball school into a football school. It's very, very interesting. TCU is probably the best team that they faced. I think Kansas will keep it close. Kansas did not play well last week against Iowa State. Their defense is really, really, really good. I think that the speed of TCU gets the job done. I don't think that it's a blowout either way. I would love Kansas to win. I just think that TCU is rolling right now. I think that their offense, they spread it out. They are very, very solid, and I think that they get the job done. In Lawrence, Kansas, I'm picking TCU to go in and kind of not make the upset because they're 7 to 8 point favorites, depending on your favorite sports book. But I think TCU goes in and gets the job done. Auburn at Georgia. Auburn, their offense is okay. Their defense is probably worse. Georgia is a 30-point favorite. I think Georgia absolutely rolls. Robbie Ashford for Auburn is going to try to throw it around all over the place, but that will not work. I think that Georgia cleans things up. I think they put their foot to the pedal, keep it down, and I think that they absolutely roll. I think that they cover the 30 and then some. I think that it's a big, big win for Georgia at home. Utah at UCLA. This is a sneaky game. This is a 3:30 game on Fox. Utah's ranked 11th. UCLA's ranked 18th. Excuse me. DTR with the Bruins played really well last week against Washington. I think that the offense is starting to come around for UCLA. I think that Chip Kelly is really starting to get his people where he needs them. I think that the UCLA defense obviously has to step up. Utah's defense is ranked 13th, 15th points per drive, points per given up per drive. I think that Utah's a 3.5 point favorite, but I think UCLA gets the job done. Utah is a very, very good team, as we've seen all year, but I think DTR and that offense gets going. They have not really played that many people that have been difficult, but I think that UCLA gets the job done at home. Ohio State at Michigan State. There's a few people out for Ohio State. Smith and Jigba and Henderson. I don't think Henderson's playing, but I know that Smith and Jigba is not. So if they were playing against a better team, you would be worried. They're 26.5 point favorites. It is on the road, so Michigan State will be fired up at the beginning, but Michigan State's bad. Their defense has been terrible. Their offense has been okay, but their defense has just been terrible. They've been getting out of chunk yards. They've not been able to get to the quarterback. I think Ohio State not only wins by 26, I think they win big. I think this game's over at halftime. Ohio State's going to run away and hide. A&M at Alabama. Oh my gosh, here we go. It's a huge game with A&M, trying to come in awful chirpy, but Alabama is really good. A&M is not have a good offense at all. They are struggling. There's not much to talk about here, to be honest, because Alabama is so good and the A&M offense is not. So I think that A&M absolutely not only rolls the game, but they're going to Alabama scores between 30 to 40 every single game, up close to that 50. I think Alabama's a 24-point favorite. I think that they're going to absolutely roll on that. I think that A&M, they're not as good as everybody thought they were at the beginning of the year. Their offense cannot move the ball. They will not get above 13 to 14 points in this one, and I think Alabama absolutely rolls easily. Let's look at a couple other games here. Texas at Oklahoma. Texas is an 8.5 point favorite. I like Texas a lot. I don't like Oklahoma. I don't know why. I just don't think that their offense is clicking as it should be. I think Texas in that Red River Shootout, I think that Texas gets the job done. It's over under 64.5. I think that I take the over as well. We talked about a lot of these games. OK State at home against Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech will keep it close, but I love OK State. I love how they throw it around. I think their defense is really going to put the clamps down, especially in that secondary. Wisconsin at Northwestern, 10.5-point favorite for Wisconsin. That is an awful game. The over-under is 44. If you thought Thursday Night Football was boring with the NFL, if you thought Thursday Night Football was exciting, take a peek at this game, this Wisconsin-Northwestern game. It's awful. It's terrible. It will not be any good. Michigan at Indiana, 22.5-point favorite for Michigan. A lot of people locally say Indiana will cover. They won't. Michigan's too good. They're going to run the ball. They're going to play action. The Indiana defense is not very solid. Their front seven is solid. Their secondary is not. And they pass the ball all over the place when it absolutely is the most random times. It's 3rd and 2 and they throw for 40. Michigan's just too good. Way too good. IU might keep it close for a quarter because it's down in Bloomington, but that's it. Florida at home, on homecoming, 10.5-point favorite over Missouri. I think Florida rolls. I think they get healthy today. I think that they get right. I think that offense absolutely starts clicking again. We talked about a lot of these other ones. Again, the big games are, we've got TCU at Kansas. That's going to be a really, really fun game. Max Duggan gets his moment with TCU. It's going to be very, very good to see. Max Duggan, he's got a great story. In the middle of COVID, he still was continuing to work out. I really think that TCU's offense gets it done. I think Kansas keeps it close. Last week, Dugan threw for 302 yards, ran for 136. They won 55-24 over Oklahoma. I just think their offense is too solid. I think Kansas is going to be really, really good. I think they're going to keep it close, but I really think that TCU is going to throw the ball all over the place and really take advantage. Nick Saban hopes that Bryce Young can play against A&M. Thursday, they said that they would be a game-time decision, so we'll see what happens there. I ultimately don't think it matters because the A&M offense cannot move the ball. The Vols for Tennessee take on the number 25 ranked LSU Tigers today. The Tigers are 4-1. Jaden Daniels has played really, really good, much better than what he did. He played, it's like he got worse every year at Arizona State under Herm Edwards. But here he is. Mike Denbrock, the new offensive coordinator, has done really, really well with him to put him in a position where he can succeed. The Tigers are averaging 443 yards, which is a lot. But I think that the Tennessee Volunteers go in, and I think their offense is too much. I think their defense gets after Daniels. I think they put the pressure on him, and I think that they really get the job done down in LSU. Auburn goes to Georgia. We already talked about this a little bit, Mizzou really had them. They had them, but then Stetson Bennett really came alive too, and rallied the dogs. Won in the fourth quarter. It was a really, really, really tough game. They found a bunch of grit, worked through it, got it done. Now they come home refocused. They've been able to run over whoever they want, and getting that run game kind of stopped, I would imagine, kind of opened up their eyes. So we'll see what happened. Auburn gave up 21 points last week in a row to lose to the LSU. Georgia's won 14 straight home games. Auburn, their offense will not get the job done today. So they may keep it close, but it's Georgia. Georgia's just too good. Drake May is on track to throw for 46 touchdown passes for my North Carolina Tar Heels. They're in Miami this week. He has 19 touchdowns already with 1 pick. Hurricanes are trying to pick themselves off the turf after giving up 400 yards to Middle Tennessee State's Chase Cunningham. May should have a pretty big game today. I think that they will throw the ball all over the place. I just don't think the Miami defense can stop them, and I don't think their offense can keep up. I thought the same thing for Notre Dame. I really thought when North Carolina played Notre Dame that they would throw the ball all over and Notre Dame's offense would struggle. I think the same thing could happen here with Miami. It kind of flipped when they played Notre Dame. Carolina's offense was stuck in the mud, and Notre Dame kind of got right. So we'll see what happens there, but I think North Carolina goes big. Also, They've got Duke, Wake Forest, and Georgia Tech coming up. Miami is the 95th ranked pass defense. So he's going to throw the ball a lot. A lot of kind of crappy pass defenses to end the season here for Drake May. So he's going to be throwing the ball all over the place. Wisconsin has an interim coach, Jim Leonard. He said he took over. It's an emotional time for them. Paul Chryst was fired this week. They're just not very good. Their offense is awful. They can't block anyone. Their line has kind of disappeared this year. They play Northwestern. Like I said earlier, it's going to be a terrible game. But we'll see what happens there. Again, I think that the Bruins get the job done. I think DTR gets the job done for UCLA against Utah. And Notre Dame against BYU in Las Vegas. We've got Catholics and Mormons in Las Vegas for a football game. So that'll be very interesting. There is a New York 6 berth at stake for both teams. Even at 2 losses, Notre Dame has a shot because it's Notre Dame. So we'll see what happens there. There's only 2 undefeated teams outside of the Power 5, James Madison and Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina might, they've got the name right, a little bit more than James Madison, but we'll see what happens there. But anyway, it's a very, very interesting week. Washington State with USC. I think USC is really, really good. So a few teams to watch. Who's on upset alert this week? I mean, there's not a lot of the big guys that should be. The LSU Kansas game will be really, really good. I think Notre Dame gets the job done against BYU. I think Georgia and Alabama roll. I think Michigan rolls. I think Ohio State rolls. Those are the 4 you got to keep an eye on. Clemson. They play at They play at Boston College tonight. They're just too good, right? Their offense is just too good. BCU struggles to move the ball. They struggle to stop the ball. I think that it's a big, big win for Clemson. And ultimately, that's kind of who you're looking at, right? You kind of just look at those top 4 to 5 teams in Georgia, Alabama, Michigan, Ohio State. And then you got the Clemsons, you got the TCUs. Tennessee's up there, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, it's going to be a fun day. Purdue also goes to Maryland. That's going to be a really tough game for Purdue. Maryland is sneaky good. They hung around with Michigan. They're just a nice, solid team, getting better every single week, which is good. So anyway, let me know. Comment below who you are picking. TCU Kansas is the big one. We're going to go watch the end of College Game Day, and we'll be ready for some football. Let me know. Michigan IU is a big one. Again, it's a really good, fun week. That Tennessee LSU game will be interesting. I don't think LSU can keep up, but I really like Tennessee. I really think that they're a good team. So anyway, we're going to go check out Game Day, get prepared, and have ourselves a Saturday. Thanks for being here on the Daily Craig Football Show, and we'll talk to you later.